I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Morning. It's a beautiful day. Really glad to be alongside Matt Jones, C Maverick. Well, at least another game will call you that, maybe. Matt, looking pretty today. How'd you pull it off?
Phil.
It's exactly what I thought. NBA Finals look like they're over today. After nobody's coming back from down 3-0, but at least the Mavericks made it a little bit interesting in the fourth quarter, cutting, what was it, a 21-point deficit to 1 point. Couldn't quite get over the edge. Two stars play like stars. Boston 1 win away from another championship, and our friend C Maverick has to be feeling a little bit bummed out about that. I'm more bummed out about it for his vantage point than from anything else. I guess I'd like to see a finals that goes a little bit farther than just 4 games, but it looks like what we might be in tune for. I think maybe the only thing that could stop Boston would be themselves. Some things that got in the way in the fourth quarter. If that can happen again sometime in the next game on Monday, maybe we get a 5th game. Not really sure that's going to happen, though, Matt. I don't think we're going to see a 5th game. Do you?
You get the Euros that start on Friday, and it's Germany and Scotland. So we've already shifted the focus. We got 3 hours. We can talk all you want about this series. Boston's the better team. It's not even close.
No, it doesn't really look like it's close, is it? Doesn't even look like it's close. I thought this would be a good series. I thought there'd be a little bit of back and forth, but it's been pretty obvious from the start who the better team is here. I don't know if it's a matter of better coached at all, but stars that are playing like stars. Even a game yesterday, like Kyrie Irving finds his jump shot. You got a tight game going into halftime. It's still not enough for them. Still not enough. He played like a star for most of the game yesterday. The one thing that's lacking is, I guess it's defense from the main star for the Mavericks. Luka fouling out. He's getting beaten over and over again. And I don't know. This hasn't been the best series for Luka defensively. I guess he still has still putting in his points though. But see, Maverick, you feeling all right about this? I feel bad for you more than anything when it comes to it.
I mean, they're just a better overall team. I mean, that's all I can say. Good, congrats, Boston. That's.
He's giving up on it. Yep,
it's
pretty
over.
much the way I would feel. That's the way I would feel going when your team goes down 3-0 to a team that's looked like a champion from the very start. So it's too bad. It's too bad. Let's see. That's where I figured we'd start today on NBA Finals Game 3. And you want to talk about the series all there is. I don't know what else to bring up other than the idea that Boston is just that much better. Boston looks like an NBA champion. Dallas does not. And I don't. Boston's not going to get a good series from the very start. I guess the best series they got was from the Indiana Pacers, and that's pretty much it.
The only series Boston lost was the series. I mean, the only games they've lost is this games they weren't focused. They're the best team in the NBA right now, and it's hands down. It's Boston. This is without even Porzingis, who's an all conference guy, all NBA. Like he's that type of player. And I'm telling you, those 4 guards you got Drew Holiday, who's so crafty. They're high basketball IQ. That's the thing, Phil. To be a good defensive player, you have to be smart. That's just all there is to it. If you're a good basketball player and can play defense, that means you have anticipation. You understand what's going on. You have a high basketball IQ. You understand what they're trying to do.
Is there an effort aspect to it as well?
That's what they're 100% it's effort. But you got to know what to do. Sometimes Luka gets lost with his eyes. Sometimes he's looking over here. He's not really focused. That's what I'm talking about. And I've never understood guys that can play offense so well and be so skilled and then give you shite on the defensive side. It's I've never understood it. Now Kyrie, he's a little bitty thing, so you understand it. But when your two best players on offense are your two liabilities on defense, it hurts you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the right way to put it. You got to play both sides of the floor. Luka doesn't play both sides of the floor. The call that's getting some of the controversy with Jaylen Brown trying to take him down the middle and running into him around the 3-point line, Luka falling down, basically crying to the officials from there, and then isn't able to get back at all. And man, it looked like the officials got that call right, which would be a foul on Luka. But yeah, he's got a star, man. But do you see the ability to play defense from him? Do you see it from him at all, or is it a matter of
Every now and then he'll get like a steal from behind or something and poke a ball loose, but like he doesn't defend well. That's the only thing he does well is like he'll get that swipe still, and that's not enough. You got to be able to defend, make people take tough shots, and he really doesn't do that.
Well, looks like we're going to 4 games to none. All right, and in Omaha today, the College World Series entrants start to filter in. Seeing all the photos coming in on Twitter of the flights that they took to come into town last night. Today is workout day, and this is the day where it's all optimism and it's all everybody's going to win a championship. And isn't it just great to be here today? There was something Tony Vitello had said in his, I guess you still call it a rant from Sunday, about how much fun it is to get to Omaha, but it really isn't if you go 2 and out. I mean, it's fun to be there. But the best day, if you go 2 and out, is day 1 when you're paraded through downtown and everybody's cheering for you and your fans are showing up and everybody is in the glows of what they hope to be a national championship the day before it all starts. And then the seriousness begins tomorrow. But still feeling all of that envy, looking at those photos and the bright sunshine and the way that they've cut the grass. Still want to call a TD Ameritrade at the Chuck, and guess just have to put the TV on tomorrow. I think it's a 1 o'clock first pitch, so we'll be on the air while that's going on, and watch Virginia and North Carolina, and just see how much of it I can stomach in here. Thursday halftime today, we'll be talking with Brett Dolan, who's all the way out in Los Angeles at some Perfect Game events that he's calling on the MLB Network. He was also part of a telecast yesterday on MLB Network, where he was the field reporter. So that's pretty interesting experience. I know it's something he's done before. Saw a photo with Brett and Muss on the field yesterday during batting practice. In fact, there were photos from all 3 of the Musselmans that were at least in attendance that do like to put their tweets out on social media. And it's kind of interesting. I felt like that's one reason why you would want to head back to the West Coast, so that you can still be putting a team together and go to a Dodger game if you so desire. So we'll talk with Brett all the way out in L.A. at about 1:15, and Bob Holt coming up in just a little bit from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. And your calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline all throughout the show at 877-377-6963. Chris in Springdale asks, is Boston the most successful sports city in the United States? That's a good question, and I would think, at least in recent years, Boston would be up there. When you count the championships from the Patriots, there's 6 of them. You get your 3 World Series from the Red Sox, about to win a second NBA championship, and they even had the NHL champion. I forget the year that the Bruins won it, but it wasn't all that far back in the distance. So they've got 4 championships out of their 4 teams, at least within the last 15 years, 10 to 15 years. Trying to think of some other cities that would belong on the list.
L.A. may be somewhere in there, but
LA doesn't have a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, the Rams won one.
Well, they did. That's right. So there'd be one from the Rams. The Lakers have a 2020 title. Dodgers have won the same year. There's no NHL championship, but they still have. They've got a lot of teams. I would say Boston's probably right there ahead of anyone else. Yeah, Houston, no. Dallas, no. Miami, no. I think you're right. I think it would be Boston. And I always said, like, the Red Sox fans, people that grow up Red Sox fans mostly are also Celtics fans. And if you had the problems of not winning a world championship for the 94 years that they didn't, well, you had all your Boston Celtics championships, but I guess you don't really look at it that way. All right. Quick break on halftime. Bob Holt will join us on the McLarty Daniel hotline right after this.
This is halftime.
Second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards. And the Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This song hit #2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Well, beautiful day here in Fayetteville, sunny, and I'm not sure the temperature, but you can tell it's summer. But getting ready to go up to the John McDowell Field here in a little while, do some track interviews, looking ahead to the Olympic trials and the Olympics.
Well, that sounds cool, man. Because I mean, so all of the women that won the 400, the famous 400 sweep 1 through 4, will they be available today for you?
Actually, I'm not talking to them unless I run into them. They're not down on the docket, but yeah, you're going to see you're going to see them in either Eugene and possibly Paris. Nikisha Price, who's from Jamaica, she's probably the queen of Jamaican sprinting right now. A title Veronica Campbell, former Razorback great, used to hold, kind of an unofficial title, I guess, not officially like the queen of Jamaica, but track and field is very big in Jamaica, and sprinters are their biggest. If people remember Usain Bolt, they're like national heroes, and so she'll be running the Olympics for Jamaica, I'm sure. And then Kaylin Brown, a young freshman, come on like gangbusters. She's going to go to the trials. I think have a shot to make it. Rosie Effing, unfortunately, Britton Wilson, a former Razorback NCAA champion, she posted on social media, I guess it was Tuesday night, she's got a lingering injury and will not be able to compete at the trials. And then thus obviously won't be in Paris. But yeah, there's a lot of former Razorbacks you're going to see in Paris competing for the U.S. and Jamaica and various countries.
25 to 30 of them is the number that you had sent me earlier today. I mean, that I don't know how to put this in a different light. And I know we don't talk much track on this show or I think any other show across the state of Arkansas, just because I mean it's more team sport oriented and not quite as individual. And we might not know what we're talking about in these cases very much, but it feels like with possibly 25 to 30 Razorback athletes involved in the Paris Olympics, that that's worth celebrating, just the number alone, and might be something that's, I don't know, just a little bit underappreciated, even by me.
Well, yeah, I mean, Arkansas, I usually write this before the World Championships or in Olympic years, that Arkansas, if you took, you hear the term Razorback Nation, right? You hear that in college athletics, Wildcat Nation or Volunteer Nation or whatever nation. And really, if you took University of Arkansas former current athletes, and then we're also talking about athletes who train here, they could be a country unto themselves. They will have many more. Now, they're not going to have more athletes, than the U.S. or Germany or Brazil or whatever, probably. But there will be a lot of countries that wish they could put together the kind of team of former Razorbacks. For instance, Ryan Krauser, he's a 2-time gold medalist in the shot put. Now, he went to Texas. I know Arkansas fans don't like Texas, but he's trained here in Fayetteville now for a few years, and he obviously likes this area, and he's going to be a gold medal favorite. You've got Tara Davis-Woodall, who's married to Hunter Woodall, a former Arkansas sprinter. She went to Texas and Georgia, but she's made this her home now with Hunter. She won the World Championships in the long jump indoors. She's going to be a favorite probably to medal in Paris. Obviously, she's got to make the team first, and it's very competitive. People remember Aiden Owens-Delarme, who grew up in your native Pennsylvania, but his mother's Puerto Rican, so he has dual citizenship. He'll be at the Olympics in the decathlon in Puerto Rico and have a shot to medal. And I'm just, Sandy Morris, who vaulted here at Arkansas. She transferred here from North Carolina. She's going to be trying to make her third Olympics. She's won multiple won a silver medal at the 2016 Olympics, multiple gold medalist at the World Championships indoors and out. She's going to try to make her third Olympic team. So that's, I mean, we could take an hour and not name everybody probably. I know you don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, it's just that, again, that's a big number, 25 to 30. And it's reflective upon and maybe there are other SEC programs or programs across the country that potentially have that many people up for their various home country Olympic squads, but I would be surprised if there are. And, you're reminded after the baseball season comes to an end, track goes on and wins more national championships. The women sweep indoor and outdoor. And I know Coach Bucknam's team didn't necessarily perform as well in the outdoor as they would want it to, but they still win the overall kind of the award for the top track program in the country for men with the John McDonnell Award. We're just reminded, I mean, we want to talk about what school specializes in what. Arkansas has been and continues to be a track school.
Oh, yeah, it's a track powerhouse. Chris Johnson, his first year as head coach, and he'd been very instrumental in the track program's success as an assistant coach. But, yeah, the women win indoors and outdoor titles. Can't do any better than that. And then what Chris did, and it was a pretty seamless transition from Lance Harder to Chris Johnson, and that historic 400 top four spots. Not only had never been done in the 400, had never been done in any event at the NC meet, indoors or outdoors, where anybody had taken the top four spots. And then they set the collegiate record by quite a margin in the 4x4 to end the meet. That they clinched it. And so, last year at the World Championships, Rosie Effing, who's from the Dallas area, she won a gold medal in the mixed relay, which is 2 men and 2 women. I don't think they do that in the Olympics. Maybe they should. And Nikisha Price, Amber Anning, who'll run for Great Britain, they both won medals. So this was setting up, really going back to last time. Jaden Hibbert, who won two NCAA titles at Arkansas as a freshman, then understandably turned pro, a very lucrative offer. He's still here in Fayetteville. He turned 20 in January. He's going to be the favorite to win the triple jump at the Olympics, I believe. He's the world leader by a huge margin. He would have won. I think he would have won the gold medal last year World Championships, but he unfortunately hurt his hamstring on his very first jump in the final. But here's a 20-year-old kid that may be jumping for the next 12 years, and he's already at the top of the world, literally in the triple jump.
Sounds like you're going to be busy during the Olympics, Bob. From afar, I know you're not headed to Paris, but you'll be busy.
I won't be going to Paris, but yeah, we'll be monitoring it for sure, and it'll be on NBC and also, I'm sure, all kinds of platforms.
Well, looking over at, at this point of the summer, we're reflective on what just happened throughout the athletic calendar and looking ahead a little bit, starting to look at the football roster and what it could look like, and we have a sense of what. At least what the men's basketball team will look like than the women's, and that's coming around as well. Baseball's got a ton to try to figure out really in the next month or month and a half before the draft gets going. And so looking back at this last athletic calendar, it was a step back in a lot of cases. Football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, softball, just kind of at least a little bit of a step back in some cases, or even a bigger step back in terms of, I think, men's basketball. But you got momentum with Cal. It wasn't the best 2023, 2024, and there's room for improvement and probably programs that can improve too.
No, for sure. I mean, football going 4-8. Nobody, I don't think, expected that kind of season. Didn't expect them to win the SEC, but I thought they'd go to a bowl game. But it was a rough year. You had your older veterans like KJ Jefferson didn't have the season you expected, and Rocket Sanders was hurt a lot and didn't have anywhere near preseason All-American, and he struggled quite a bit. Now we don't even need to go on the offensive line probably, but. Sam Pittman has revamped this roster. He's brought in Bobby Petrino. There obviously were offensive coordinator issues. Finding Dan Enos during the season, you don't see that very often, but I think it was justified. Not saying Dan's not a good coach, it just wasn't working. And Bobby Petrino, I don't think they could have hired a better offensive coordinator. And they've got some returning guys, having Luke Haas healthy again, tight end's going to be huge for them. They really brought, I think, 3 new starters on the offensive line. Maybe it's actually 4. No, it's 3. But they moved guys around, And so we'll see what happens. It's a very challenging schedule. And no Alabama, but really no breaks. Either got to go to Oklahoma State early. And then basketball, that's, men's basketball, that's probably the big, exciting story. John Calipari coming in from Kentucky, and looks like they've got a very good roster, added some experienced players, some from Kentucky, some from other places. Nice recruiting class, freshman class as you expect, but it's not like they're going to be playing 7 or 8 freshmen. I think they've got 3. And then you had Trevor Brazile back and kind of a surprise, but if he's healthy, we know can be an impact player. And then I know Mike Neighbors has really revamped his whole roster. I think he'll have 5 new starters, added some JUCO players, went the international route. We'll see how they do. And baseball, for, great record and a great regular season, disappointment in the postseason. And I know that doesn't sit well with fans, doesn't sit well with Dave Van Horn and his staff and the players. So really looking for a bounce back in a lot of the main sports.
Yeah, I think we're looking for it. I think that in some cases, I think it's legitimate to expect it as well. But a lot of it also goes to postseason success more than anything. You got to get there first. That's understood. But just looking at the bat and ball sports, let's separate those from the others for a time being, because football didn't make the postseason. Men's basketball didn't. Women's basketball did, but it was 1 and out in the NIT on the road against Tulsa. For the bat and ball sports, there's going to be, I would expect, if there's a couple of really good months to start the season, there's always going to be skepticism. Now, I'd say this. I didn't feel that skepticism amongst people 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but I certainly do now. The last 2 years, people that have had that skepticism early in the season, pointing to this is what's going to do them in, this or that, or they won't go far in the postseason, they've proven to be right. And I think there might be more skeptical fans just because of the last 2 years being knocked out at home. So it's just, man, it's always, we have all this optimism in February, but we're always proven to just wait until June, and that's a long time to wait.
Well, yeah, I think baseball is becoming more like basketball, where it's really defined by postseason success. 2 years ago, Arkansas won, or last year, however you want to still count 2024 as this season. I guess we got the College World Series. But in 2023, Arkansas, with a lot of injuries, overcame that and shared the SEC title with Florida. I think winning the SEC title should still mean something. I see people get upset that Arkansas hadn't won an SEC basketball title since 94, I guess it is. Well, obviously have had a lot of postseason success, certainly with Eric Musselman going to 2 Elite Eights and going back to the championship game in 95 under Nolan Richardson and various things. But, yeah, I think baseball, it's great to be ranked number 1, and it's great to win the West again and all these things. And it's great all these honors you're seeing Hagen Smith pick up, and we know he's going to be a high draft pick. But when you don't get to Omaha, that for a program of Arkansas stature, and Dave Van Horn's, created that bar for himself. Norm DeBryan, we know he's the godfather, right? He's the guy that built the program and coached Dave and brought him back and all that. But, Dave really took the program to another level to where the stadium was expanded. And you've got, this incredible indoor facility and the Hunt Center and all that. And, the Alley skyboxes and baseball is generating a lot of revenue. And, tickets aren't cheap, and I'm not saying they should be, but when people are putting out that kind of money, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, they want some bang for their buck. And so, Dave Van Horn is kind of, Nolan Richardson used to say, when you create the monster, you've got to feed it. And he talked about 87 creating a monster, and then Nolan Richardson probably built a bigger monster. And so when you have a lot of success, it's difficult to sustain it. And, Dave Van Horn's done a pretty good job of that. But obviously the last 2 years, as you said, losing at home in regionals. But it's not like Arkansas is the only program that's happened to. I think Oklahoma State's lost 3 straight regionals at home, including losing to Arkansas in 2022. So it's obviously disappointing when you lose at home. It may be a surprise, but I think there were maybe out of 16 regional hosts, maybe 6 didn't advance. So it happens, and it's happened to Arkansas the last 2 years, and that's very disappointing. I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to have a great season and get another home regional, and this time advance out of it.
Hey, Bob, we'll leave it there. I always appreciate you hopping on. Thank you, and have a great rest of your Thursday.
Okay, you guys take care.
Bob Holt, Democrat Gazette, with us every Thursday here on Halftime. Got a good text in from Wes on the McClarty Daniel hotline. He has figured out the problem for Arkansas in the home regionals. It's the color purple. TCU and then K-State. Yep. At least in a regional, it was red that did Arkansas into the Super Regional in 2021. Hey, Crabtree RV Center is here to help everybody that's been affected by the storms in northwest Arkansas recently. If your home has been damaged and it's undergoing repairs and you can't stay there, think about renting or purchasing an RV from Crabtree RV while your home is being repaired. If there are any, if you need any repairs to your existing RV, Crabtree RV Center is here for you too. Just call 479-632-0829. That's 479-632-0829. You can also go online to crabtreerv.com. Meanwhile, we have our McLarty Daniel hotline open for you right now. It's 877-377-6963. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool Super Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Say goodbye to crowded public pools. With a Doughboy Pool, the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above-ground pools up to $1,500 off. 18-foot steel wall pools only $75 a month. And semi-in-ground pools under $200 a month, plus a free robotic cleaner. Hurry into our Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland showroom to pick out your new pool today. At Burton Pools and Spas, we do more than build swimming pools. We build long-term relationships.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Sunday, June 16th is Father's Day, so honor your special dad with a gift from Jelco Outdoors. Gifts for the working dad, fishing dad, hunting dad, hiking dad, gifts for any dad. Buck Hexam folding knife, now only $19.99. Savage Axis 2 rifles as low as $399.99 with $75 mail-in rebate. Andro AR-15 5.56 rifles, only $499.99. Fishing rods and reels for any dad. And Jelco gift cards are always a perfect fit. Shop Jelco Outdoors for dad this Father's Day.
Waiting on someone to bale your hay? Come in to Gray Brothers Equipment and let us show you how affordable owning your own Kubota hay equipment can be. Bale your hay when it's ready, not when it's burned up. With economical pricing at Gray Brothers and affordable interest rates from Kubota, this year is the year to bale your own hay. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
You're your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Extra out of the 918 thinks he can finger the exact moment where Arkansas baseball started a downslide. He says when Cal threw out the first pitch between games against Florida. 7-10 after that pitch, 37-6 before. Well, you point to stats. I guess there's if you believe in the mojo of it, or maybe it's the teams that they played. 3 of the last 4 SEC series Arkansas played were against teams that are in the College World Series, and then the other one, Mississippi State, went to a regional final against Virginia in Charlottesville. And then here's another thing about Arkansas. I'd noticed this just about 3 or 4 days ago, but I wondered if it would hold for as long as it has. The season ended, well, I mean, you'd say regular season because that's when the portal opens. That would have been right after the conference tournaments, which is the day before Selection Monday, so that would be the season ended the 26th of May. So that's a little more than 2.5 weeks in. There are over 4,500 baseball players in the portal right now. Over 4,500 players in the portal. Arkansas does not have anybody in the portal, and they are one of 8 Division I baseball teams. There are 305. 8 of them do not have a player that has left them to enter the transfer portal. That's it. That's it. Let's do statistics here for a moment then. 305 minus 8, 297 out of 305. 97% of Division I baseball teams have lost players to the transfer portal in 2.5 weeks.
Including the 8 that are going to Omaha?
Including the 8 that are going to Omaha. That's right, because there are kids that are on the team that aren't there. You know, they can only bring 27, so that means there's 13 that aren't there. I mean, I'll look it up. Let me see. Let's just pick a random team. Virginia. Yeah, Virginia's got a catcher in the portal. They only have one. They only have one player in, but it is one player, and Arkansas doesn't. And then there's like an LSU, and you wonder about some of this in some cases. LSU has, that's 4, that's 8, that's 10 that have gone into the portal. And it isn't always this player has left the program. This player might have been invited to think about entering the transfer portal because he was about to lose playing time. And, I mean, look, this goes along with it. It's not just the players that are making the choice to go into the portal. It's coaches that are, I don't know, say they're being honest about it with them or whatever. I mean, they can see the writing on the wall in some cases. Like Paxton Kling, center fielder for LSU, all kinds of capabilities, talents, highly recruited, hasn't really worked out in the 2 years in terms of his ability to hit. I think he's been hitting in the 230s. So I wonder what that conversation was. You know, you had Jay Johnson the other day. He's the LSU head baseball coach. And he's talking about how you don't build a program anymore because you go year to year because of the transfer portal. It sounded like he was complaining a little bit while also saying that he's going to operate, by the way that you got to operate right now, keeping in mind that LSU won their national title with a couple of big-time transfers. And I just wonder if that conversation was Paxton Kling saying to him, I'm going to leave, or was it Jay Johnson telling him, yeah, no, it hadn't necessarily worked out for you here and you might want to go somewhere else. But it also means I don't think that has been a conversation that Dave Van Horn has had with any of his guys. And there are a couple of players that it hasn't worked out for them in the 2 years that they've been there. And at the top of the list, I would say, is Jason Jones. He's, again, all the talent in the world, puts on the scariest looking batting practice you've ever seen, shows it every once in a while in a game, and has a lot of trouble making contact. So that's a player that I would say I'd like to see him stay, because I think if he wins a job and he turns it on and somehow in his third year he does the Chad Spanberger and has some amazing second half in the third year, he could carry a team for a while. But that did stand out to me. Not only is Arkansas the only one of 8 teams, they're the only major team. The other teams that don't have anyone in the portal is Army, Bucknell, Lehigh, Navy, Northwestern State, Rider, and Valpo. Just according to 64 Analytics, which is a really great college baseball website. So Arkansas is the only major baseball program without anybody in the portal. And look, I mean, most of their position players are either going to get drafted or losing their eligibility. That's not the case with the pitching staff. And I think there are kids that other programs would want. I think they'd want Jones. I think they'd want Vehiva. I think they'd want Nolan Souza. I think they'd want Helfrich. So it's good to see them sticking on to him.
You said there's 2,500. We got that kid from BYU. Who are they going to go after? Do we have like any targets?
I know they have a kid, Logan Maxwell, that's visited from TCU recently. There have got to be others too, because there's been massive visits across the country. But they need some of everything, and they haven't. Here's the other aspect too. Arkansas hasn't really signed many players out of the transfer portal. I think there's only been one. It has been Vehiva's brother, Kuhio. So I mean, I do see some other programs that have gone out and gotten some bigger players, like LSU signed Zach Cowan, the ace pitcher for Wofford. He just finished his sophomore year. He's making a jump, and we'll see how it works for him. Luis Hernandez, the first baseman for Indiana State. They lost their head coach to South Florida. So all of Indiana State have been a good program. They're available now. If they want to go into the portal, they can. But I don't know. It's like I'm a little impatient, just like waiting to see who they're signing. I think fans are too. Because you just expect that once the portal starts opening up, you're going to get a lot of guys that might at least look at Arkansas and be interested in playing there. Text coming in, answer some of these questions. Gary asked about Hunter Grimes. If he's out of eligibility, why didn't he play? He wasn't injured. I saw Hunter taking batting practice all year long. I think it was just a red shirt. And the other aspect, too, is, well, if other outfielders were having trouble hitting, Grimes had a heck of a trouble trying to hit 2 years ago when he did get his chance. So I just don't think that the writing was on the wall for him to get much playing time, and I don't know what his plan is right now if he comes back, because he redshirted. I think he's got that 1 year of eligibility left, so that'd be one guy. Other players that redshirted, Reese Robinette. I'm still interested in Reese. The swing might be a little bit long, but I'm interested in him. And Ty Wade, catcher from Texarkana. And that's the thing. It's like, these are talented kids. You don't usually make the Arkansas roster if you don't have some things you do really, really well. That would mean other programs are interested in you, but they have not also entered the portal either. Chris in Springdale says it means the pay is good. Well, that's legit, or at least the NIL could be good in some cases. But I also think there's relationships with coaches that go into this, doesn't it? I mean, these are personal relationships. They're not just work relationships as often as you're around them. And I think of how much time, well, let's just say on the pitching side, because that's probably where I think a lot of guys would be interested in some of these Arkansas players, guys like Fouch or Gabe Gackle, Colin Fisher. I think they want to stay with the coach specifically. Like, Matt, that's the whole conversation of, are you playing for a program or are you playing for a coach? Still will always believe, yeah, you'll say all the things about the facilities and the fans and everything like that, but you're going to make your decision based on the coach. And then I think a lot of times you'll base your decision whether or not you want to stay on your coach, because there's no guarantee that the next place you go, you have that same relationship with the coach. If you're leaving for money, in this game, then
Unless it's
you're at your own
substantial,
danger.
Because I look at Coach Neighbors and we're losing all our best players to quality schools that are going to compete. I mean, if it's substantial money, what about Rocket Williams and Chris Paul? I mean, don't you think they got double to leave Arkansas?
I guess I would expect that.
I mean, that girl from the basketball team quit mid-season. She was going to get paid so much more money.
Well, that's what it seems it might have been. And I think there were personal relationships that had nothing to do with the coaches that went on to that as well. Just wasn't comfortable in the locker room ever. But also, I mean, the 5 players that left, the 5 starters that left. Yeah, I mean, this is a thing I've wondered with women's basketball, Matt, because they only have one Division I transfer. That's Izzy. And the reason she's coming to play at Arkansas is because she's really always wanted to be a Razorback. Other than that, there's international players. And as far as I know, I don't think you can make NIL dollars if you're not from the United States. And then there's junior college players that are transferring in too. And, you know, I mean, Kiki Smith, I think she's the number one. She was the junior college player of the year. So it's not to say that this isn't a talented player, but I wonder, you know, you get Division I players that are looking for money. And that's been a thing that we've been hearing about for a long time, is that there hasn't been NIL money going to the women's basketball program. So, and again, if I'm looking at Arkansas baseball as one of 8 programs in the country that have not lost a player into the portal, I would think women's basketball, think about this. No Division I transfers last year and 1 this year. In this day and age, that's really surprising. I mean, even programs that have been successful postseason and all of that, they're going into the portal too. Is it money? I don't know if it's a matter of choice in this case. It doesn't feel like it would be a matter of choice. Yeah, Woods texted and he says he had met Fouch at the airport, said he's a really good kid. I like Christian. He is a good kid. And he loves playing for DVH, and that's the reason he wouldn't leave. And I think he loves playing and learning from Matt Hobbs. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. We'll be back and wrap up hour number 1 after this quick break.
This is halftime.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Studios, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I don't know if you can hear it every once in a while. There's a sharp, loud, high-pitched meow coming from about, let's say that's 75 feet away. Although it also is coming from inside a bedroom with the door closed. Trying to do the introductions with the new kitten and my existing cat, and it is an adventure. I thought usually you just get two people together and they can shake hands and find something that they identify with, that they have in common, and have a conversation and just kind of take it from there. It's a little bit different with cats.
What is this, day 3?
This is day 3. But this is the first day that the little one has been out of the bedroom for any appreciable amount of time. And the older cat is none too pleased. None too pleased. A lot of hissing, a lot of growling, even at me. But I think there's a little sign of some interest because she marches up to him and sniffs his foot and then runs away. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a crack in the armor. because the older cat, I think, before I got her, was not emotionally, physically abused. And so she just doesn't know a lot of other animals very much. So, but this is a very interesting time. So I thought maybe I could have him running out here while I'm doing the show. Nah, because he would literally try to crawl up my leg at a moment's notice. I don't know if you've ever had a little kitten try to crawl up your leg, Matt, but it's like little individual hairpins just like poking you in the thigh as it comes up, and does leave little tiny marks. If you let it go any higher, it will get to your neck, and then it will climb up all the way to your head on the very top, and you'll have a kitten crown.
Yeah, it'd be like American Ninja Warrior. I dig it.
It's entertaining to a point. But at least the one thing that I can guarantee now is I don't think the older cat will kill the kitten. For a day, yesterday, I was a little bit nervous about that. But today, I do think that the older cat will be a little bit nicer about this. Kiki will let Jerry live. And we're going to go with the name Jerry, I think, for Jerry Seinfeld. This is my daughter's choice. Well, while I made dinner last night, Matt, she asked to put Seinfeld on. She has named her kitten after Seinfeld. I think I've done well as a parent.
Little Jerry Seinfeld takes a dive for nobody.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Back into hour number 2 right after this.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, blue sky, sunshine. Our high today in the lower 90s. We will be nice and clear tonight and overnight, low, mid to upper 60s. Friday, lots of sunshine, low to mid 90s. And then Saturday, we'll hop into the weekend with lots of sunshine. Our high on Saturday, low 90s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 77 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Working our way through halftime into the second hour, 12:01. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing. No guests in this second hour. Brett Dolan joins us at 1:15, so you can get on the McClarty Daniel hotline anytime you want and bring it up at 877-377-6963. 6 locations, McClarty Daniel in Springdale or Bentonville, anytime online at McClartyDaniel.com. I'd seen where, well, let's get into this here. Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. Now, I've got my mother coming in because Sunday's also my daughter's 15th birthday. And they haven't seen each other in over half a year. Dad's not making his way in because he's working over the weekend. Kind of an interesting choice to be working on Father's Day, doing dental surgery, but hey, it works, right? I wish I'd be able to see my father on Father's Day because it's been a minute since I did. I guess it would have happened during the pandemic, 2020. I don't remember where we were or what was going on, but I know there wasn't much of either going on. And I was going back and forth from Arkansas to Pittsburgh to just try to have something to do. So I would have liked to do that. And I'd rather the focus on Sunday be on my daughter and her 15th birthday than on anything with me. But I do feel like I'm at least having an influence on her in terms of that she does enjoy watching sports and that she is a good person and treats people well and respects herself. And I hope that's exactly what my father did for me. You know, I learned my love of sports and performing, and maybe some of the preparation that goes into it from my dad. And so, I learned a love of radio from him as well. And I don't think I would be or even maybe even anywhere close into the sports that I do love and work through and work in if it wasn't for that influence and also the nurturing of it. It's not just the influence of it. It's helping move the interest going from interest to, hey, you can do something with this. You can do something about this. And to me, that's partially what being a father is about, just a little bit of it. And there's all sorts of other things that go into it as well. But Matt, I'd have to imagine that without your pops, I don't think you'd be doing a sports radio show or be a football player potentially or be into the sports that you're into. Because, my dad wasn't a coach. He never wanted to coach me, but we would work on things together off the field sometimes. But you grew up in a coach's household, so I can imagine that sort of influence.
Yeah, my pops is my hero, and both my parents were, they put the kids first and just took care of us, teach you right from wrong, all that stuff. So pretty cool. I'll never know. Like you though, Phil, you're raising a couple kids, so you that's pretty cool. You get to see it the other side. I've just been a big kid my whole life. I've never had to raise any kids.
Do you remember? Would you remember a first time that you like what's an early memory involving football and your dad? Whether it's a game that he was coaching or practice that you were at or a conversation you had, because I can point to a moment with my father at a Pirates-Phillies game in 1982 that just stood out to me.
Well, I don't know that if it's just like when you're a young kid and you're playing catch every time you want to go play catch. It's like, just the time and you look back, it's just like that they're always there for you.
Well, and I just remember sitting there at Three Rivers Stadium watching this game. I think I was 6. I was 6 years old, and it's funny the things you remember. I remember him detailing to me what batting average was and what earned run average was and what those meant and how you calculate it. Like, I probably realized how to calculate ERA, not realizing that I probably should know how to do that for another 3 or 4 years. But I never felt forced to be into the thing or the things that he was into. I just sort of picked it up from being around it as much as I was. And there are regrets I have as a father, and some of those involve don't necessarily like have the ability to include my kids in everything that I do, because I end up living, a couple hours away from one of the places that I spend so much of my time, which is Fayetteville and the Razorbacks. But even from afar, I can see that influence on them, and it doesn't feel. I hope that I'm not forcing it upon them, that I'm just serving somewhat as an example of find things that you're interested in, appreciate the things that you're good at, that you think you're good at, and that you'd like to get better at, and attack the things that you love to do and do it with passion. I think I learned those things from my father without him ever saying those words. I mean, sometimes it's DNA, but also sometimes I think it's also just the idea that you learn by observation. Learning by observation, I think, is a major aspect of not forcing kids into something that either you want them to do or that makes sense for them to do. And that's always something that I was very appreciative of my parents, because of my parents, they grew up in an era where you were going to be a professional, and that was that. You basically had a choice of, you could be a doctor, you could be if you were intelligent enough to get into school and graduate through and all of that, you were going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, work in the medical field of some sort, or be a salesperson. And I think that they were sort of shoehorned into those things without that necessarily being the things that they were interested in. So I still tell you, if my dad had his druthers, he would have been, now he's acting now, and he does shows and stage productions and movies and that kind of stuff now, but that only came after this, the success of what he did for a living for all those years, which was being a pediatric dentist. But I think in his druthers, he would have gone after the acting thing first, but I don't think he was allowed to do that. My parents could have said the same thing to me, Matt. They could have said, no, this sports radio thing, there's no money in it until maybe 25 years after you start. And it doesn't, this is not the sort of thing that we usually do. So I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful for those things.
Yeah, you're good at it, Phil. That is, I'm thankful as well.
Well, I think you just want, as kids, you just want to be supported around the things that you feel passionate about. And whether those are the things that your kids are passionate about or not, we've got to find a way to support those. It's like my son, he enjoys archery. I'm trying to find a way to feed that interest, having absolutely no idea whatsoever what goes into to archery outside of, yes, you need the bow, you need the arrows, and something to practice with. My daughter's had various interests that she's, I think, grown out of a little bit. We try to feed those things, whether it be dance or gymnastics, and don't point her in those directions. Let her choose that. So, but again, yes, now the interest tends to be hanging out with friends, some social media, and trying to make sure that the cat doesn't claw up her leg, which the kitten did that.
She's got to be getting close to getting a car. You'll know she's really into Seinfeld if she gets a vehicle and calls it 7.
Oh, that's a good point. Or if she triple parks, then she's definitely got the Seinfeld influence. Yeah, and I keep reminding myself, well, I drove her somewhere yesterday. It's like, we could probably pull over into a parking lot and give her do a little practice right now. This is the time she's got to do the practicing. And I don't know if I'm ready to handle that. More than anything, because I will have to sit in the passenger seat. That is You want to talk about giving up control? I don't like sitting in the passenger seat of my own car to begin with. If it's with a 15-year-old girl who I know very well, that's really giving up control.
Do they teach driver's ed in school anymore?
I don't think it's in. No, you got to sign up for it outside of school. I don't think it's part of the. Now, when I did driver's ed, it was in the evening. It was 3 hours after you left school, and it was enough to put you to sleep. Now they did that. Now she did tell me about. I think this was in a health class, and she just finished her freshman year of high school. I think it was a health class that they showed. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it's a movie that we all saw in driver's ed of what can happen on the highway. I mean the really nasty stuff. I mean the scary stuff. She has seen that video. So maybe they do teach a little bit of driver's ed in health class, but outside of that, I don't know what it is that she knows about it. So we got to get her signed up. You just reminded me, if I'm going to be a good parent about a kid who's going to be on the road in a year, or maybe even sooner than that with a hardship license, it's time to sign up. Got
to practice.
That's exactly right. Did you take driver's ed?
Oh,
was that a high school thing?
My dad taught driver's ed. I was driving when I was 12. He was, I get to drive the car from here to here or here to here. We've been driving, shooting a gun when you're 3, sitting in his lap. So it's they start them young here in Arkansas.
I would just like the picture you just drew there. I can see you bouncing on your dad's lap. I've met your mom, not your dad, so I don't know what the face looks like necessarily. Waiting to drive and going turkey hunting at the same time. Is it about right?
That's
pretty close.
Yeah, you got Arkansas for you.
Chris in Springdale was his driver's ed teacher. Said something about Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. I'm not exactly sure what that text meant, Chris, because it looks like your driver's ed teacher was Robert Plant or Jimmy Page, and I don't know if that was actually true. Mr. Pibb, his coach, taught at Northside as well. Coach McKinney was the driver's ed teacher at Fort Smith Northside, and BE remembers it too. So does that mean that did your dad have the car that had the brake on the passenger side?
Yeah, he taught driver's ed in Mountain Pine. I remember going up there, and he had to do something to the brake on the passenger side. Coach McKinney coached me at Northside. He had the D-backs, and he called them the Killer Bees. Coach McKinney was all right.
Now I remember driving my mom while I was driving her car, and she pushed down on a brake in the passenger side that wasn't there over and over and over again. Mom showing up here tomorrow so I can remind her about that. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline if you're getting into By the way, Mom is showing up tomorrow. I thought she was coming on Saturday. She changed her flight, so that just means when I'm done with the show today, it is going to be a cleaning madhouse here, because it's a little bit different, like cleaning up your house for Mom than cleaning it up for anybody else. As you know, she can see those cobwebs in the corner. She can see every speck of dirt that's located in the grout of the tile. She notices all of that stuff. So I'm going to have to get down to it with a toothbrush and a magnifying glass later on this afternoon. Best July 4th fireworks experience is going to be given to you by USA Fireworks. Been in business more than 30 years. They'll make sure your holiday is the best holiday you've ever had. They'll also help with school fundraisers, city functions, adoption funding, and more. You can also enter for a chance to win a $2,000 retail fireworks show at hithatline.com/USA Fireworks. Thanks to Chris Brewer, you'll have the absolute best selection at USA Fireworks. You can go online to usafireworks.org and see how they can help you. Back with more Halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline to join the conversation on ESPN Arkansas. 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel has a vehicle to fit both your style and budget. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, you're never too far from a good deal. Visit McClartyDaniel.com to find your next ride. Find your next ride with McClarty Daniel at a price you'll love. Join the conversation on ESPN Arkansas at 877-377-6963.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com. Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Do you remember when you were young? What happened to the end of Jesus' sun? In Harvard Square, smoking Mexican grass. You gotta get some feelings and relax. But the blue stars on the radar. You know it's a thing you can do. But I'll be up the guard, party guard. And I'll never like you.
Dude. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, we know 3 basketball games scheduled for the first year under Coach Cal, finding out yesterday about the ACC-SEC Challenge. Miami on the road, just looking at how they schedule these matchups, it only makes sense because it's 2 programs that were almost identical records. I think Arkansas was a game under, Miami was 2 games under 500, so I think that does make sense. if you kept the program where at the same level it was the year before, then maybe you end up playing North Carolina like Alabama does, or playing against. I know Virginia didn't necessarily have the best year, or maybe NC State. That's who Texas gets in their first year. So it made sense. So the women will be playing Boston College, and those are also two teams that are a little bit reflective of the sort of season they had the year before, though BC did not make any sort of postseason in women's basketball. Yeah, but
that's how they do the NFL scheduling when they do the outer conference, whatever. They just kind of line it up with what you finished the year before.
We do it in interconference things. Why not, or intra-conference things? Why not do this as far as the scheduling is concerned inside the SEC? Would it seem to make sense? You know, giving the conference champion the most difficult schedule, and giving the team that finishes, I can't even believe I'm saying this, 14th or 16th, giving them the easiest schedule. But we know what the schedule looks like for 2 years now. So if you do this with, you know, a conference challenge, and you're doing this because you get a sense of, I don't know, do you really get a sense of what conference is better based upon who wins more games here? Well, if you line them up the way that you lined them up, maybe you do. But then the other aspect too, it's like your record from the year before isn't really going to be it's not respective of the sort of roster that you might put together the next year. And I think that there's got to be more amplitude between levels of success on an annual basis for programs when you can consistently rebuild a roster. You know, if you have a bad year and everybody leaves, or you ask everybody to get out and you find someone else to come in, I mean, maybe things change a little bit in that case. But to me, that seems to be some of what Jay Johnson was getting at yesterday. We were talking about, you know, you don't build programs anymore, you build a team each year. And that's different. That's different than building a program. And I think of a program as something that players will spend 3 to 4 years inside, develop, redshirt, potentially. But it's building a different team on a year-to-year basis. And that's what you got to find a way to do. And Arkansas football looks totally different than they did the year before. Arkansas basketball, both men's and women's, look completely different than the year before. Men's basketball is not even recognizable in terms of the coaches and the players, and it's just Trevin Brazil. And baseball is going to look completely different. So do we have to use the word program anymore? When do we start using the term franchise like we do in professional sports, right? So I was looking at this list here that ESPN had put out of the best football player at each age currently in the United States. Aaron Rodgers is the number one 40-year-old football player in the country. I don't even know who else.
Where is he, though?
Exactly. That's the whole point of the question here. Some people make it seem like they know where he is, but don't say it. So it's a big mystery. Getting a black light somewhere.
Well, then we'll do camp next week. We'll do camp the week whenever you can make it, Aaron. You let us know.
It just is the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. You know, I mean, he left last year while he was rehabbing the Achilles injury, but I can sort of understand. I can understand that. But for a mini camp, which is mandatory,
it might be one of the greatest heists in all of sports. You know, he only played 4 plays. I mean, what makes you think that his last year in Green Bay was a redshirt year? You know, what did he do? He hadn't really done. I mean, he hasn't looked like Aaron Rodgers for at least 4 or 5 years.
So that arm has to be nice and well rested and everything.
I mean, he's a little slower in the pocket. He's not as athletic as he is anymore. I mean, he's still amazing, and I'm a big time Aaron Rodgers fan. But man, you hadn't played in so long. I'd be up there at camp. It's last year or so, but I mean, they're giving him $40 million.
I'm just also looking from a perspective of a fan or any of the coaches. Let's look at the coach's perspective first. Like you would expect. You have this guy who played 4 snaps last year. There's a lot of us who are discounting that he's going to be able to come back from this injury. And this is independent of what people feel about Aaron Rodgers as a person or any of his opinions on this and that. Just the football aspect of it. 40-year-old quarterback handed the starting role for obvious reasons, already in the Hall of Fame, Super Bowl champion, coming to a franchise that views themselves as, well, the fans view it as cursed. How can this be viewed in any way other than, what have we done giving this guy this money? What have we done? The injury last year is not his fault, but you're living in the wake of it, the wake of it right now, and I guess it's an excused absence that's really unexcused if Coach Salas says he knows where he is. Joe Flacco, number one 39-year-old football player in the country. They've taken it all the way down to age 14, and here's one thing that stands out, is that ages 18 through 22, the number one football player in the country, according to the ESPN list, all either played for Ohio State or are currently at Ohio State, outside of Malik Neighbors, who's the top 20, number 20. They've got C.J. Stroud as the best 22-year-old. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best 21-year-old. And then Caleb Downs, the safety that transferred in from Alabama to Ohio State, the best 19-year-old. And an incoming freshman, Jeremiah Smith, who is the number one 18-year-old. And all of that goes with absolutely no success against the Michigan Wolverines. And it just starts to make you wonder. You remember how Connor O'Gara brought up the thought about some of the chaos scenarios in college football and that we talked with him about on Monday? Is there any scenario where Ohio State gets rid of Ryan Day if they don't beat Michigan this year?
Ohio State won't lose a game unless it's to Georgia next year. That's just that's probably the only team that can beat Ohio State. That's the national champion. If it goes the way it goes, it'll be Georgia and Ohio State in that playoff 12.
877-377-6963. We've got Charlie here to take us up into the break. Charlie, what's up, man?
What's up? So, I was just about to walk into the house, so unfortunately, you caught me right here as I'm pulling in, so I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to sound as good as I do when I'm
You actually sound better right now. Something about being outside the car. You sound really good, so take it away.
It's something about not being in Hampton, Arkansas, where there's literally nothing but trees, probably. That probably has a lot to do with it. But I will say this, Phil, you had touched on this driving thing. So this is going to be your first experience, right, with your daughter teaching her how to drive?
She's driven her mother's car. Never mind.
Oh. Well, I'll give you a quick story here before y'all go into the break. The tune-up learned, he got thrown in the fire now. My grandmother was the sweetest lady that you could meet. She died when I was 19 years old, but she taught me how to drive. And she couldn't drive. That's the problem. She was not a very good driver. She was one of the worst drivers ever. And she was so patient. I think that's why they let the tuna get behind the wheel with her, but they forgot that my grandmother wasn't the, but anyway, I learned really quickly how to do things. She would let me make mistakes in there, and I just would have to figure it out. I wonder for you even brought up, the part about you being in the passenger seat. Are you going to are you going to be patient with her? You think you're going to be able to handle that, Phil? Or
well, that's like the $64,000 question here, Charlie, because I don't know yet. I haven't done this. If I'm anything like my parents, no, I won't be patient at all, and I'll ask her brother to teach him, because that's what happened with me and my sister, although I'm the older one, is that they would yell it, and keep in mind, they were teaching us how to drive a stick shift.
God.
Yeah, that's
I
different.
Still can.
Yeah, so I still can. It's been a while since I had to. But so I ended up teaching my sister. I think, if she was 16, I would have been 19. I taught her how to drive a stick shift. And I had patience then. So maybe I have patience now. I don't know.
Yeah, true. But it is your daughter. I get it. It would be tough on me. I don't like riding in the passenger seat either. Matt, how many brothers and sisters do you have? I can't remember.
I have twin sisters.
That's right. So let me ask you, I want to know what it was like in that Jones household as far as competitiveness. Did they gang up on you, try to kick your butt? I mean, was there and how tall are they? I've never heard that. I've never heard that story. Like, how competitive was it in that Matt Jones household? Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, they were competitive. I think they're still probably pretty competitive.
You never really lose that, do you?
They, the seventh grade. I'll never forget their seventh grade basketball team beating the seventh grade boys basketball team, and I thought, man, I'd have to just quit. I'd have to quit sports if we were the seventh grade boys and we let the seventh grade girls just whoop us like that. It was they were studs.
Hey, we are brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. That's Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer, giving all their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. They also feature general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns. That's Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. Call them 226-3500 or go to RileyFarmDental.com. And stay with Halftime. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
This is Halftime.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. Don't forget to shop for Father's Day at the Solid Rock.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Bill Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Bill Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, back here on Halftime as we work our way through hour number 2, 106-99. Boston over Dallas yesterday. 17 made three-pointers for Boston yesterday, Matt, and that's where most of their offense comes from. And build the lead through threes, hold on somehow at the end, and looks like Boston will be celebrating an 18th championship sometime in the next 2 games. I think you'd pick that from the start. You were asking from the start of the season, is there anybody that can challenge Boston in the Eastern Conference? It turned out nobody was really healthy enough to do it or good enough. Nobody's really challenging them from the Western Conference either. Now, the final scores, all look like nothing's been a blowout, but when you get up by 33 in the first game, you get up by 22 in the second game, and then I don't know if it's a matter of taking your foot off the pedal or Dallas just has a nice little spurt. Boston has looked like the much better team. I mean, better than just 7 points better in game 1, better than 8 points better in game 2, better than 7 points better in game 3 as well.
Man, they've Derek Jones Jr., P.J. Washington has been playing decent, I guess, the last game when he went back home. But, yeah, those guards, I mean, that best trade was Drew Holiday. I mean, we talked about that when that happened with Dame Lillard, and it's just like, well, you just made Boston better because you think about it. That was Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's a G. He's a B- player. Marcus. There's nothing wrong with Marcus Smart when he's that guy. And then, but you add Drew Holiday, who's one of the best defensive guards in the game right now, and then Derek White. He's one of those guys that would be like your Sam Hartman, your Bo Nix. He's not necessarily just gonna lead the team or be your eight, but he's a high end player, man. He's so good and crafty, but he couldn't ever lead a team like this, But if you have him as your third guard, and then what he does on the defensive side, and they all share the ball, they all move well, they understand spacing on the defensive side, they understand spacing on the offensive side. They're moving to get a better shot. I mean, the way to watch when I watch Boston on the offensive end, they remind me of that Detroit Pistons team with Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton. Ben Wallace was on that team too. But the way they're off, they just move the ball. You're getting it to the wide open guy. They're very efficient. It's like they're reading the option and they're making the right play every time. They're methodical. You have to really play defense against them. If you have a lapse, they make you pay for it. And they're definitely they're the cream right now. They're the best team in the world.
Well, that's who everybody's going to be shooting for. As far as next year goes, it's a team that I don't think they have many first-round draft picks over the next 4 or 5 years from these trades, but they might not need them either. Because the base of the team, the core of the team, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they're 27 and 26 years old, respectively. I didn't realize. I knew Horford's been around for a long time. I didn't realize Drew Holiday's 34.
Yeah, he's a G. He's grimy. Like if you were to say, like he's the Corey Birmingham. He makes your team better. Everything you ask him to do, he can do it. Like he's been around so long. He's fun. He doesn't. You don't have to run a single play for him either. He's one of those. He would be a joy. Every team would if Drew Holiday's on the market. Every team would be all asking for his services.
I don't see. Now, I didn't watch him in the regular season. I've only watched a couple of the playoff games leading up to the finals, but I don't see like ego on the court. I see a team that meshes very, very well together in terms of personality, their strengths, and who's getting the credit. I think Clay brought up the idea yesterday. Will there be some sort of drama between the two stars at some point because someone always wants to take credit more than someone else? I don't know if I see that with these guys because Jason Kidd tried to drive a little bit of a wedge, talking about that. I forget who he said one is the star and the other is, just incredibly good, but they didn't take the bait on it, and they're both playing incredibly well anyway.
All four of those guards, 41 minutes apiece. I mean, that's it's you look at what they do, it's unbelievable.
Eduardo's with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Eddie, good to hear from you today. What's going on?
Man, I just wanted to take an opportunity to wish you, sir, a very happy Father's Day. And, all the fathers in the state, in the whole nation, make those moments count. It's a special day for fathers. So enjoy this day. One thing I found out, over 52 years, I'd like to go down just briefly, down memory lane. Where the passion started. 1971 at Little Rock, at War Memorial, when we rallied. We had a legendary quarterback against Texas, Brian, and we rallied them that day. Joe Ferguson, 31, and I was 7 years old. Let's go down memory lane. 2007 in Baton Rouge, when I seen one of the greatest performances I ever witnessed by a running back when number 5 stepped up that day, and your co-host, Matt Jones, thank you, sir. When I was in the Rock, I closed my eyes just briefly when you let that ball rip, and they called it the miracle on Markham. So, that's, stay aboard the Hawk train. When one season ends, I've said it before, I'll say it again, another season begins. We got 77 days, and Houston Nutt said it best. There's only one Razorback. There's only one Hawk. There's only one Hawk train, so stay aboard. I can't wait till we come together as a Hawk Nation.
Eddie, take me down memory lane in another way here, because you brought up the idea of War Memorial Stadium. We had a couple of people Pinto texted in, 877-377-6963. I don't know if you heard the conversation that we started off here with about, and you must have, because you were talking about fathers. And I'm teaching my daughter how to drive at some point, either today or tomorrow. We'll have even more fun. I'll get my mom in the car with my daughter and me, and then we're going to really strap on those seatbelts. But, all right, Pinto learned how to drive in the War Memorial Stadium parking lot. I tried to teach my ex-wife how to drive a stick shift in the very same parking lot. She gave up after 2 opportunities, and I didn't push the issue any longer. Where did you learn how to drive, Eduardo, and why was it a place that nobody wanted to be anywhere near?
Well, I had a grandpa, had a farm. I learned to, to drive in the pasture. And so that's how I learned to drive, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, going through the tall grass, right?
Going through the tall grass. But, anyway, happy Father's Day again to all the Hog Nation. And stay aboard the Hog Train, because you yourself, you're going to make some memories down on the Hog Train.
We certainly will, Eduardo. I appreciate you, and as always, thank you for listening to our show. If you want to get out in the tall grass looking for a side-by-side, a motorcycle, an ATV, a zero-turn mower, get over to your local Wood Power Sports store in either Harrison, Springdale, or Fayetteville. There are 9 brands to choose from: Can-Am, Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, CF Moto, Suzuki, KTM, Hustler, and Honda. If you think of it, they probably have it at Wood Power Sports. 3 convenient locations. They'll provide you with outstanding service and parts capabilities and offer deliveries as well. You can learn more by going to woodpowersports.com. Wood Power Sports is a solid name that you can trust. We are back to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was busy underwater, seeing how long I could hold my breath. The drowning flower caught my eye, and I had to come on up for air. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you have to be so condescending. I still see the same things I used to see. I'm a little shady on my history.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
One of the things that I'm laughing at here is I'll just get on Twitter for a brief moment during the commercial break. So it's the day after all the teams arrive in Omaha, because today they start working out. You know, they want to get them settled in before the games begin tomorrow. And there are opening ceremonies, and there's the parade downtown, and the concert, and the fireworks, and all of that. And it's awesome. It's so much fun. But those are chartered flights from the NCAA. You just leave from wherever your campus is located, and boom, you land in Omaha. A little bit different for the reporters and the media and the fans that have to find a way to get there. And some of them are making their plans at a snap judgment. And good luck trying to get where you want to go on time in a lot of cases. So hopefully they make it there at least by the time the game starts. I love the opening day, the opening ceremonies and all that. It is a great day. Here's an interesting little tidbit I see coming from Brandon Marcello from 24/7 Sports. You're wondering where some of the money is going to come from to close the gap, I guess, between conferences. I've wondered about this. If we are now selling naming rights, well, you're already selling naming rights for stadiums. You're going to be putting corporate logos on the football field, and apparently the Big 12 is exploring selling naming rights to the conference. Not talking about naming rights of an actual physical building, but to the actual conference itself.
It's the Barclays Premier League, so it could be the Dr. Pepper Big 12. Yeah.
It would make sense. I mean, think if Dr. Pepper's already been on the presenting sponsor.
First thing I thought of with Big 12 was Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, they were presenting sponsor of the Big 12 championship game, the SEC championship game for a long time, if not still. I don't remember who might be right now, but it might be Dr. Pepper. It would make perfect sense. The Dr. Pepper. Now, they say they would apparently they might drop the word big. Like big has gone into, think of big in all of the different conferences. East, South, West. I think the only direction that was left out of the big is the North. 10, 12. Am I missing out any others? You got a lot of bigness in college sports, and it might be starting to go away. The Walmart, SEC is not going to need this. That's part of what this is. There'll be other leagues that do it, and I think the Big 12 was kind of leading the charge here, but that would just look to be a little bit weird.
It'd be the Tyson Razorbacks instead of the Tyson Chickens. Yeah. You know, like you could maybe you even go to the Arkansas Chicken. I mean, I guess South Carolina, you already got a chicken in the SEC, but Tyson Razorbacks with the Tyson logo on it.
Oh man,
call them the chicken backs.
Work.
Yeah,
the chicken backs, the cluck backs. And I think we're going to get to a point where there are more corporate logos on team uniforms. Like if they're letting them put them on the field now, and we're thinking about renaming conferences after a sponsor, then eventually you're going to get where, I mean, how many logos are on Premier League kits? You get it proud for me,
they have
Matt.
a crest.
I actually use the right word.
They have a crest, and it's usually, that you'll see them kiss the crest. It's right there on one of their shoulders. But yeah,
and then the corporate sponsor's a little farther below, right?
It's just on the middle. I mean, it's just there's no commercials over there, so they were kind of first to it. Where in American sports, you have commercials and you show whatever product you want to. That way, it's just right there. And but they all, they'll all. You'll see Angry Birds. I think Everton had an Angry Birds.
No kidding.
Liverpool was Standard Charter. They're just kind of like what Boston's Vistaprint. So take off of Boston and put Vistaprint there instead of Boston. That's the difference between a soccer jersey and that
Sure.
right there. If you just take the little crest right there,
They're the Vistaprint Celtics.
Yep.
They are the Chime Mavericks. The Vistaprint Celtics actually does roll off the tongue. Chime Mavericks does not. Chime Mavs, it makes you feel like they're coming out of Chicago. Yeah, sooner or later you're going to end up with a lot of corporate sponsors on your jerseys, on your uniforms at some point, on the stadium, on the field. Just think of it next year. I don't know where they are with this as far as naming the Razorback Stadium is concerned, but it's going to be named. It's going to the naming rights will be purchased by some big company sometime, I think, in the next few months, and you'll have that to look at when you walk inside the stadium. There'll be new logos with sponsors on the field too, and I think in a couple of years it'll be on the jerseys as well. You got somewhere between $20 to $30 million that they're trying to pay players every year, and that is a brand new line item that takes some new revenue coming in. Into the third hour of halftime after this break. 877-377-6963 is our McLarty Daniel hotline. And we'll be right back.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expedition.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season.
every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
Welcome back into halftime, 1 minute after 1 o'clock in the afternoon on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson. Matt Jones and Kristen Johnston alongside. We'll be talking with Brett Dolan, who is out in Los Angeles in about 15 minutes. He has, I think he's got like 3 or 4 games he's calling today for Perfect Game, all showcase sort of stuff. These are kids that will be in Division I college baseball, at least a good chunk of them in the next couple of years. And was looking through our McClarty Daniel hotline here from earlier today, and there's a really cool photo it's an unnamed texter who is watching. He's in Atlanta. Well, I guess it's not Atlanta. It's Cobb County, where the Braves play now. That is right outside Atlanta. And is working in an office building that overlooks Truist Park, where you could, it would be kind of cool if you could watch the game from here, but it looks like one of the video boards blocks your view of the entire infield. So it'd be a weird way to watch a game, though it's free. Why not give it a try? I've seen... So my mother works downtown Pittsburgh, Matt. She's a CPA. Now, they moved their offices from one building to another, and I haven't been in the newer building now, so I don't know if she's got the view or not. I remember it's like in one aspect of that building, there was just a tiny little sliver of PNC Park's field that you could see. So if the Pirates are playing a day game and you're at work, you might only be able to see plays at first base. But it'd be enough to just at least watch a little bit. And with this guy, what he's watching would be basically, you can see if somebody swings the bat. You can see right field and center field, a little bit of left field, but that's it.
You remember it was called PIP. It was called pitcher in pitcher on those screens. Probably before Christian's time. So it'd be like watching the game just you got the big game on the TV, but in your pitcher in pitcher over there, that's the thumbnail size. Then you really don't see what's going on.
No, you won't see enough, but it's free, so you can listen to the game. And I've seen photos of how at Dodger Stadium is kind of facing the San Gabriel Mountains. Well, a little bit farther past the parking lots, there was a spot where people would park and just watch the game from all the way out there because they could. They could just sit out there and watch. There was even, this would have been from the 70s or the early 80s. Somebody brought their television with them. I mean, the old tube TV, think of how heavy that is, carrying it out of the house, putting it in the car, driving it to the San Gabriel Mountains, having a generator, putting it on, and hoping that you get the signal so you can watch the Dodger game that you have gone to watch from about half a mile away. And I know there are people that would watch Razorback football games from the famous Notch, which is now, they said they kept the famous Notch with the renovation of the stadium, but I don't really think you can see all that much of the game from there, if maybe just a little tiny little piece of it. But that's because you want to keep it to the paying customers. I guess that's what they're looking to do. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline at Chiefs camp or mini camp. Oh, this is nice to see. According to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid wants them to push the ball down the field more often, wants more big pass plays, and they signed Marquise Brown, drafted Xavier Worthy from Texas. Mahomes can throw it deep and won the Super Bowl without having to do it too often last year. And now they're going to look for more big plays. Just, not sitting on your laurels. They got great speed now, Matt, and I know wide receivers was an issue for them during the regular season last year. I don't know if it'll be an issue for them this season either. And then there's Travis Kelce talking about that he's going to keep playing until the wheels fall off. I guess you just make your own decision as to when the wheels are ready to fall off. And Chris Jones isn't thinking about retiring either. So you think the Chiefs have a chance to? Well, obviously they have a chance, but if they're going to utilize the big play, maybe that's right in their wheelhouse too.
Yeah, 87 days away from football. That's a Travis Kelce right there. Patrick Mahomes can do anything he wants to out there on the field. That's for sure. They really never replaced Tyreek Hill. I think that's what Xavier Worthy's coming in to do and take the top off the coverage. And I don't know who's going to be. If you know that your defense is good enough and you got a healthy Patrick Mahomes and a couple weapons, I'm not. It's like Scotty Scheffler right now. I'm not betting against him. Like what Chuck say, I wouldn't put a nickel against him. I wouldn't put a nickel against the Chiefs.
What are these OTAs about? Well, these aren't OTAs. These are mandatory mini camps. What is this about? This is leading up into the summer. How long are these? And then, they're mandatory, so they obviously must be really important. What goes on?
Well, I don't know how much has changed. Whenever I was in Jacksonville, it's 4 days a week. You got 5 days to get 4 of them in, and 2 of them will be you're going to lift 4 days, and 2 of them will be on the field type of days where you're working with the quarterbacks. You're just going over plays, seeing things, running routes, just staying sharp. You're just kind of. It's like a summer school, so to speak. You're just trying to stay sharp and being with the play. Another time to go over the playbook, and you just getting used to each other. We had, Fred Taylor he was so good. He was a guy, but you get it when I see these guys that sit out. Every once in a while a guy can sit out, but really 98% of your guys need to be there, and for the most part they are. The guys show up, you want to work, and you're just getting up there and you're getting a little film in. You're kind of just staying sharp. It's
the thing with Rodgers not going there. It's like what I'm hearing you say is something that I hear you say about how important it is for, even when we talk about Arkansas this next year and learning Petrino's offense, is just to make it instinctual so that you know exactly what you need to do on every play with every variable that can happen. It doesn't make any sense to me for a quarterback to miss these camps then, because then it says to the teammates, like, I got other places that are more important to me than this team, than this game. Either that or it's like, I don't need to know all of these things. We don't need to develop much together.
It's all situational. Like LaDainian Tomlinson, you understood it. Brett Favre, you understand it, especially if you're able to talk about it and you got other quarterbacks that can do the thing. But yeah, that's part of it. You're just going over little situations, and in the most basic way you can put it is it's a zone beater and a man beater. Every time there's a play called, you can do one of the other things, and so you just start making it instinctual where you're reacting and you're not thinking, and it's just you got to go over it.
just wonder if there's any sort of overreaction to Rodgers not being at that camp when he's the only quarterback, the only quarterback that is not there. But if he's, already carved out his bust in Canton, and views himself a little bit differently, then yeah, it would make sense. Chris says 0 chance of a Chiefs three-peat. So who do you think's going to win then, Chris? And JT says, yeah, KC's improved their team. Dallas has not. I think in JT's mind, the best way that they can get it better is just by dropping Dak. It's usually what I see from him there. Allstate apparently is the sponsor that the Big 12 wants to sign up. So they've already kind of let it out there, which I think that means that's going to happen. And then the insurance company is already getting the marketing that goes along with it, just by their name being associated with, hey, the Big 12 is thinking about selling their naming rights to this group. I just don't expect that the major leagues, the SEC and the ACs and the Big Ten, would feel the need to go down that route, because if it's conferences that are trying to make up some sort of a difference between their revenue and the other conference's revenue, it's the ACC and the Big 12 that need to find a way to catch up. And I still know that there are ACC schools that are trying to put some sort of a group together that's going to eventually dissolve their grant of rights, do away with the old ACC, and reform it the way that they want to. The Big 12 is the one league that I think can potentially stay in its current iteration. But obviously, in their mind, it's going to take some money to get there, and money from a major insurance company that probably already advertised on their games to begin with. Brett Dolan coming up in just a moment. The smaller version of the Pop and Pad Crasher, bait use all summer on the Arkansas River, especially when you're frog fishing, is the Pop and Pad Crasher Junior. Right size, right hook set up to catch them. You'll find it at learnet.com and tackle stores all over the place. We're joined by Brett Dolan in just a moment on Halftime.
This is Halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Broyle says, I'm going to take a nap. So he leans back and takes a nap, and his phone rings, and I don't know what to do. Do I wake him up? What do I do? So I didn't do anything. And then Coach Broyles woke up, called him back. I mean, he threw me under the bus.
My driver didn't wake me up.
Right there in the car. I didn't even have a name.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool Super Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Say goodbye to crowded public pools. With a Doughboy Pool, the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above-ground pools up to $1,500 off. 18-foot steel wall pools only $75 a month. And semi-in-ground pools under $200 a month, plus a free robotic cleaner. Hurry into our Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland showroom to pick out your new pool today. At Burton Pools and Spas, we do more than build swimming pools. We build long-term relationships.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball, with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com. KofersBoatCenter.com.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Shakedown 1970. Cool kids never tell the truth. Like what right up off the street.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Appreciate Brett Dolan's time always on the McClarty Daniel hotline, but especially today because it's a busy Thursday for him. Not an average Thursday, I guess. Brett, what you got going on in L.A.?
Well, last night we had the Dodgers-Rangers game, and then it was a late trip down to Orange County and an early wake up at about 3 a.m. for some remote baseball broadcast that I've just finished, and now I need to get to the airport so I can get 2 flights and get back and do it again tomorrow from Arkansas. So just your normal Thursday.
Remote baseball broadcast from a hotel room?
You know, so what I've been doing a week-long Perfect Game showcase, and the studio is in California, even though the event is in Atlanta. So now that I'm in California, I might as well just come here and do it rather than my hotel. So that's what I did. So yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of baseball. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Saw a pretty good game last night, didn't you? 3-2. Rangers win it on a homer by Corey Seager. Was that his first game back in Los Angeles as a Texas Ranger?
Yeah, it was. It was the All-Star game, but the first regular season game, hits a 3-run homer, and then Pages runs through a stop sign and gets thrown out of the plate on a close play to end the game 3-2. Great night. So Ohtani hit a homer in the first, and it was a fun game. I always enjoy getting back to Dodger Stadium when I can, or kind of working the occasional game. So that was just a lot of fun, a lot going on, a lot of running into certain people and whatnot, and trying to put forth a good effort. I don't do a lot of dugout reporting for the MLB Network, but when they do, I enjoy it. So good night.
Dodger Stadium's awesome, and I've been there for 2 games, and then got a chance to take part in an on-field batting practice where I was just shagging for people, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. It was like, I can't believe I'm on the field at Dodger Stadium. That Dodger Stadium is, and I have to, you gotta be cautious how you put this sometimes. Dodger Stadium's a perfect baseball park, correct or no?
Well, I think so, right? There's no quirks or some of the uniqueness that they've tried to create with Camden Yards and whatnot, and it's not in the middle of a downtown area. It's set up in a giant ravine and parking lot and whatnot. But the amazing thing is, I think it's probably the third oldest stadium in baseball after Fenway and Wrigley, and at times when you're driving up, it still feels like you're kind of going back into 1960 or 1970. It's still got that same feel to it that Koufax and Drysdale played here, and all the other Dodger greats. So to me, that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, takes advantage of the view behind the outfield fence, and just doesn't feel, what would the word be? It would be manufactured. It's like, that's how I felt about the last Rangers park. I love where the Rangers play now, and I always thought the ballpark at Arlington, or whatever they called it over the course of their years, now it's the first Globe Life Field. There's a second one right next to it. It always felt like it was forced. You took a piece of Yankee Stadium with the facade, you took a piece of Tiger Stadium with the overhang, you took a piece of that park, but you never felt that way about Dodger Stadium. It is its own place. And I saw that you bumped into the Musselmans on the field during batting practice as well. Did you know that they would be there, or would you just kind of like look out of the corner of your eye and you guys look at each other like, hey, I know you?
No, the funny part is, as I drove up to Dodger Stadium, I got there way early. I thought, what are the odds that I would run into Muss tonight? And so I'm standing on the field during Dodgers batting practice, and I'm probably 10 feet from the cage, and I'm watching Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and I turn to my left, and 4 feet away from me is Muss and Caleb Klein, and I just watched Muss interact. He was talking to Bruce Bochy. Then he was talking to Dave Roberts and having great conversations. And then he turns around and sees me because I'm just behind him, and we had a great conversation. We took a quick picture, and I just watched Muss go. I took a picture of him together with Roberts and Bochy that I sent to him afterwards. And I will say this, Phil. It feels like he's in a good spot, and he's back in California. He's got a big smile on his face, and I said to him, "Are you actually coaching, or are you just playing beach volleyball? Because I'm watching your Instagram." And I think he admitted that he was grinding pretty hard last year, and I'm sure when things aren't going well and you're losing games, you work harder, and then when your team loses, you work harder, and it just has a compounding effect. And after I posted the picture last night, there were a few people that had some snarky comments back at me, and I said, listen, he did a lot for this program. He took this to some levels they hadn't been in a while. He made this attractive for John Calipari to come here, which would have been crazy a couple of years ago. He wants to be in California. He's happy. Calipari's here with great players coming in that should be nationally competitive. Seems like a win-win for everybody, and I hope it is.
I would have thought he'd just be happy because he's at a baseball park. And I know, I think basketball is his first love, but I also know he's got a passion for baseball from, a fan's perspective, from somebody that, grew up rooting for the Padres. And I just remember that the first time I'd met him, and I think this was the day he was introduced as the coach, was he came over to throw out a first pitch at Baum and then came on the broadcast with me and Bubba. And, the guy really does have a true passion for baseball. So when I saw the photo that you put out, and I know Mariah and Danielle also, tweeted or Instagrammed photos out because that's what you do. I just thought, man, that's a happy guy. And it just hit me. It's like, well, the reasons that he left, from Arkansas. And I think a game at Dodger Stadium, well, it'd be too simplistic to say that's a reason why, but it's a bit of a microcosm why.
Well, it is. And Southern California people like the beach and they like the coast. And he said that when they first got there, they actually had kind of a house that they rented for the coaches and the staff, and it was 5 or 6 people in there, and it was a block from the beach, and it probably felt like a frat house, but they would do their work from the house rather than commuting in and building towards trying to put together a team at USC, but kind of enjoying life. And, California is expensive, and it's not easy to get around, but there's some beauty to it, too, and he likes it, and good for him. And I think you'll see him at Dodger games and Angel games and Lakers, and I think he's already been to a Sparks game, and it's kind of what he does. But I can't fault him for that because that's what I do. I'm a professional games attender. But watching him interact with Bochy and Dave Roberts was fun to me because those guys knew him. They genuinely wanted to talk to him, and there was a little bit of a rapport. So, and sometimes basketball people want to talk to baseball people and vice versa, and just kind of check in with people that have similar roles but in different sports. So it was kind of fun to watch.
Bochy must have known him when he was a teenager. I'm just thinking because I remember, I've got a pennant. The first World Series game I went to, Brett, was Game 1984, Tiger Stadium, Padres, Tigers. Yeah, I was 7 years old. I remember Alan Trammell hitting 2 home runs. I remember
Gibson?
Gibson was on the team. He didn't hit it. He might have hit 1 home run in that game. But Bochy was on that Padres team. He was the backup catcher. And I just imagine, there's got to be something there that the two of them know each other from all the way back then. Of course, Bochy's been around forever, too. Hey, speaking of the big leagues here, do you realize there's like 8 good major league teams right now and a whole bunch of mediocrity? But it just hits me. It's like, so you look at the teams that are atop the leagues right now. Yankees, Orioles, Guardians, Mariners are pretty much the good teams in the American League. You could throw the Royals in there, too. Phillies, Dodgers, Brewers are pretty much the good teams in the National League. No guarantee any of these teams are going to be a world champion because of how random the Major League playoffs are now. And it feels like it's a whole different structure to college baseball and Major League Baseball. But I even saw somebody, Brett, who was this? Travis Sawchek. You know who he is, covers for The Score. He tried to make a case of changing baseball playoffs to throwing in an MLB regional weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even like that we do this in college baseball. Please don't try this in the big leagues.
No, but I feel like they might tinker a little more with the schedule because, you know, I sat into Dave Roberts' office yesterday with Vasgersian, Verducci, and myself, just the 4 of us. What a great opportunity, right? And the first thing he says is, man, that was fun last weekend. I know Major League Baseball would love to have the Yankees and Dodgers, and I want to have it selfishly. And I said, yes, they do. Problem is they don't get it oftentimes. You know, last year was the 5 seed and the 6 seed. Major League Baseball doesn't want another Texas-Arizona World Series. They would lose their lunch if that happened again. And I don't know what the philosophy is, how you get the best teams to get to the World Series. They haven't figured it out, and trying to figure out baseball doesn't work. And I don't know what the answer is, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't keep tinkering just a bit to see if they can find the right format that gives opportunities to more teams but doesn't penalize the best teams from a layoff standpoint. I don't know what it is, but we'll keep trying, I think.
What do you think on the College World Series starting tomorrow? You got a couple teams you think may meet in the finals. I'll tell you who I think, and then you
Please do, because I'm curious what you have to say.
Well, Tennessee's going to make it through the ACC bracket. They're the one SEC team there. I think North Carolina could surprise them. So I would put it at those 2 teams out of bracket 1, but I think Tennessee's at the top. And in bracket 2, even though Braden Montgomery is out with this leg injury, and I hate it for him because he is incredibly fun to watch. They have like 4 other All-Americans, first-team All-Americans for A&M. They got a pitching staff that's probably second to none in both brackets. So I'm looking at Tennessee versus Texas A&M. What do you think?
I wouldn't argue with that. I think you're right as far as Tennessee coming out of their region and their bracket. A little more, and I'm with you, Montgomery's injury is a tough one. But, Schlossnagle's just been there a lot, and he's had good teams. They haven't gotten over the hump when he was at TCU, and he kind of has the ability to stick around for a period of time with his teams, and there's just so much talent on that club. I wouldn't bet against them. I think if Montgomery was healthy, Phil, I'd probably pick them to probably win it all.
Do we make too much about the size of the field in Omaha? Because I really do think, look, if you hit the ball hard, you're going to be fine. I think Tennessee, with the fact that they've hit like 170-some home runs, maybe out of 173 home runs, maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them don't get out at the College World Series ballpark, but then that leaves them with 140 more. Do we make too much of the size of the stadium? I mean, that's a part of it, but I think it's overblown sometimes.
It might be. I felt like the first several years when the balls and the bats were a little bit jacked up, it was almost unfair. It was a hard game to watch because you couldn't homer in that ballpark very often. You know, the wind, whatever the case may be, the big dimensions, the way the ballpark's situated. It feels like it's certainly played a little better maybe in recent years. I don't know if the numbers would back that up, and I think in part because we no longer have all the dead equipment, and some coaches would probably tell you they feel like it's back to the juiced aspect of the bats with some of the exit velocities we've seen and some of the distances home runs are traveling. So I think it's getting fair. I wish it wasn't quite as big. I still like to see the college home runs, and I think that makes for great television and great theater, but it's better. It has to be better than it was, because those first few years it was almost unfair, coming off the Rosenblatt Gorilla Ball era.
Hey, Brett, safe travels and good luck with the rest of the Perfect Game broadcasts. Appreciate you coming on with us out on West Coast time today. Thank you.
Sounds good. Enjoy the College World Series.
I'll try. It won't be easy, but I will definitely give it a shot. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. It's the home stretch of halftime, and we are back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Celebrate freedom in a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, gutters, or metal roofing, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. Where do you think I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You are start so far in the end. I can't imagine to crack all fences lost. The time cost, the consequence of actions. Lost and not too far. It's the way you are. Wait for it to be so. Past believed it out, so stretch it out. It snaps into the present. And there's a sunshine comes from your eyes. Lights up the world from the side. You can see me smiling.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And now there's more not rumors, just reports coming in of conferences that are in discussions to rename the conference. Conference USA is the next. They're looking at, well, what are they looking at? Insurance companies sponsor everything now. 2 insurance companies are in the news for this. I guess you throw the names out there. Globe Life, which is the company that Conference USA is talking to, according to Ross Dellinger, and Allstate, speaking with the Big 12. So it's the direction we're all going. Apparently, the Big 12 is also looking at private equity dollars, which I know is being introduced into college sports in a way that, I don't know if you say like it's private equity nonetheless, or if it's just a line of credit that's being extended to either a university or, in this case, a college conference. They try to make up whatever ground they're trying to make with the rest of the conferences. Now, if I'm Conference USA, it's like, all right, so you get a conference sponsor. How about finding a way to keep your members in your conference for like at least the next 10 years? Because I don't remember who is in Conference USA on a very consistent basis. It's really difficult to remember these things, especially over the last few years. Dan Hurley says he rejected the Lakers not because of leverage. This was not a leverage thing. Tomorrow may be interesting if we get a hold of Aaron Torres. We talk to him most Friday mornings, and he's been gone for a couple of weeks, but I think he's good for tomorrow because he's got the conspiracy theory that Woj and Hurley are close friends, that they basically work together to get more money from UConn. So I can't wait to put him on the spot and say, go ahead and take it. Apparently, and again, I'm not in on the NBA insider boards or that sort of stuff, but you do have a pretty heavy rivalry between Shams Charania and with Woj, and this apparently is a little piece of it. But he says he did not reject the Lakers or did not get an offer about a leverage. But this was not about leverage. This was about somebody coming out of left field, offering a job to coach the LA Lakers, and he says no, and it wasn't about money from UConn. And the next one they're looking at is JJ Redick. So it just feels like the Lakers are trying to, this is different thinking, guys who aren't existing NBA coaches, but know the sport and have not been a coach at the NBA level yet. It'd be interesting to see who they eventually do get, because it sounds like Redick is going to be the guy.
It does sound like JJ is going to be the guy. I wonder, Sam Cassell's a younger guy, or I guess he's older now. He hadn't really had a head coaching job. What happened to Luke Walton? Is he a guy that just gets passed over? Because when he was younger, he had that year that doesn't count. So he didn't get any wins. The year that Golden State won one of those years they won like 70 games because he was the interim coach, and then he coached a little bit. Coached the Lakers, all right. Coached the Kings a little bit. I wonder where he is on the list.
He's a Cleveland Cavaliers assistant right now. But
with Spida.
He was the Lakers coach for three seasons.
I like
4
Luke
seasons.
Walton. He's sharp, man. Arizona guy. Played for Lute Olson. He's a basketball guy. He understands the game. Speaks the lingo.
But so I don't know the other people that they're looking at. You'd mentioned Cassell. He's a Celtics assistant, right?
Why do you not want something off that tree? I'd be gleaning everything I could from the Brad Stevens tree.
Yeah. Hey, the Celtics win this championship. This goes to Stevens, and man, what a career this guy's laying out for himself. He's pretty brilliant. To move your way from someone no one had ever heard of before, unless you were really paying close attention to college basketball, turned Butler into a national power for a short period of time, parlay that into a coaching job with one of the top franchises in NBA history, bump your way up to the front office, deal with the controversy of their last coach sleeping with somebody that I think it was somebody that he worked with, choosing the right person to fill in for him for a year, Missoula, and make the right trades, put the right team together, and now they're one win away. It's a pretty singular person right there. Pretty singular person.
Boston is going to be tough to repeat. You haven't had a repeat champion since Golden State in 17-18. I would not be. I mean, they're young enough. Drew Holiday probably has 2 years left in him at this level. What'd you say? He's 34. I mean, he's so smart in the way he plays. Derek White still. Yeah. I mean, that's you got to replace Al Horford. You got to have a stretch five, and Al's he's such a coach out there. The stat they said Al Horford's 2 years older than his head coach right now. That was wild.
I love when you hear those kind of things. Be the right time for him to go out then, age 38, with an NBA championship in that city. Yeah, I think Boston. Chris had asked earlier, most successful sports city in the country, professional sports city, would have to be Boston, at least in the last 24 years. All 4 sports have won championships. 2 of those teams have won multiple championships. Iconic teams, iconic players. I can't think of another city that's had more success in terms of championships than the city of Boston, Massachusetts. And on the flip side, Oakland, California has to be the worst because they've lost all their teams. They've lost everybody. And that's all happened in the last, 10 years? Not even 10 years. Lose the Raiders to Vegas, lose the Warriors to San Francisco, and now about to lose the Athletics to Sacramento. And then maybe Las Vegas. They don't know where they're going to get to. They have no idea where they're going to get to. JT thinks the Celtics are getting back to the Celtics of the late 70s through the early 90s. Yeah, that's right. I mean, they've got that right mix. But they had a young core then, and it seems they got a young core now. They all had Parrish, McHale, and Bird all within, I think, 3 years of each other, that they were all drafted. So that was built to last. This team does look like they're built to last. 877-377-6963. For anything else you want to get in as far as that's concerned. Dick Hauser Trophy has come out earlier today. That is the first of the 2 major awards for the top player in college baseball. It is Georgia's Charlie Condon who has won the Dick Hauser Trophy. And that'll probably mean he's, I already told you, I thought he'd be the odds-on favorite for the Golden Spikes. I think this basically confirms that he is going to be the Golden Spikes winner. Hagen Smith was named an All-American for the second time, only the 6th player in Arkansas baseball history ever to do it. Very, very cool. I was just looking through some of the football players who've been a 2-time All-American, Frank Ragnow and Darren McFadden. And they had pretty good professional careers in that sport. So with Hagen, the thing that'll be very important for him moving forward, and I don't know where you got to look at a guy as a starting pitcher coming out of college. I wonder if that's where he ends up as a major leaguer, or if he gets to the big leagues, is he a starter or reliever, and do you try to convert him to starter at some point afterwards? Because I think it would be, you're not going to draft somebody that you view as a closer in the top 10 pick overall. You give him the ramp to be a starting pitcher and hope that he can maintain his stuff for upwards of 6 to 7 innings. And like, you did that for the most part this year, but it was for 2.5 months. And if you're going to maintain throughout even a minor league season, there's going to be the dips in velocity here and there, the dead arm that might happen every once in a while. And sometimes you just don't have your best stuff, and that just happens. But you do have to be able to maintain for 5 months. In the big leagues, you got to maintain for 6 months. And that's going to be major. And I know Hagen will work his butt off to do that because that's just how he is. He shows up, he puts in his work, and got better, much better from one year to the next. It's just the one thing that you didn't see Hagen Smith do consistently over 2 years. Last year, it was trouble making it through 5 innings, and this year, they held him back, trying to keep some of those pitches available for June, and then just sort of, I have a difficult time explaining it. What happened to Hagen in the Kansas State game? Was it a matter of just one of those days? Or was it a matter of a couple of weeks where when he got to about 60, 70 pitches, you saw a little bit of a drop in velocity, one that mattered, and command too? And is it the sort of thing that you just sort of pitch through, or was that him kind of hitting a wall? I don't know. I don't know what it was, because we don't see him pitch any longer afterwards. It'd be interesting to see if Arkansas would have found a way to pick him up against K-State, score a couple of extra runs, win that game. I think you win that game, you probably win the regional. Well, he would have looked the next week against Virginia in a super regional. Would it have been the same thing? Looking really good for 4 innings and then falter in the 5th. And again, when I'm thinking about faltering, there was just a couple of balls in that 5th inning that were hit hard. That's it. That was absolutely it. Chris feels bad for Oakland. So much history in the stadium. That's true. I saw photos of the Oakland Alameda County Stadium or Coliseum from the early 90s. They were owned by, what was the name of the gentleman that owned them? Was it Wolf? But whoever owned them then cared about that franchise, cared about the fan base, put money into it. They renovated the Oakland Coliseum. They might have had the highest payroll in the game up to that point. This is 1988 to 1990. And it was a great ballpark, at least looking for it. What really started to do that ballpark in? It's when the Raiders moved from Los Angeles to Oakland. And the way that the way that they got Oakland to get the stadium ready to rehost Raiders football again was by building a giant upper deck, which took away the beautiful view. And they turn it into a football stadium at that point that had a baseball team in it every once in a while. And I guess that's the last place. We won't see it anymore. We haven't seen it since the last game that the Raiders played in that stadium. You no longer see dirt infield in September or October. Did you ever have to play on a football field, Matt, that had the baseball infield still on it?
Pro Player Stadium.
Yeah.
We played a preseason game down there. It was it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's just
the spikes for football field you got to have different spikes to run in that dirt. The baseball spikes are different than football spikes. Although you might think they're the same, or maybe in 7th grade you can wear your football, but you got to have those metal spikes for baseball.
All right, we are up against a break. We'll be back and wrap up halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
B square. It's B square. Dancing in the suit. I watch them on TV. I'm looking out for every day and finding ways.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, it's time to get to the other activity for the day, which is trying to put these two cats together where one doesn't try to kill the other. I've let the little guy out, and yeah, he just bumped right into the microphone, so I think you heard him there for a moment. I hope there's not blood on the floor by the end of the day. I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that if there is blood on the floor, at some point today, it's mine and not the little guy's.
How fun!
It's an experiment, is I think what it is. It's kind of like teaching a 14-year-old girl how to drive, 14-year-old anybody how to drive. It's an experiment in your own safety, your own trust in yourself, and being okay with it if something happens that shouldn't happen. I feel like I need like a passenger side brake for this experience that I'm going to go through today. I don't think I can introduce a kitten to an established cat and teach a soon-to-be 15-year-old daughter how to drive on the same day. It would just be an overload for me. Way much of an overload for me. That's what I got today. What you got today, Matt?
You got hockey. You got that going on.
You been watching the NHL finals?
Absolutely. Connor McDavid. They got this. The Edmonton has a dude that's like Edward Holling or something. Hockey's so arcade. I mean, and they shift. So, you kind of, I don't know. I'm such a novice when it comes to hockey, but hey, it's the finals. These are supposed to be the greatest to do it. So you see a couple of them flashing moments of brilliance. So it's I don't understand anything about it, but
you like what you're seeing.
What else?
That's
is
what
on,
matters. It's entertaining.
You got the Euros that start tomorrow with Germany and Scotland, and then that's gonna be fun for a couple weeks. But that's where it's at right there.
You turn on some U.S. Open too, right?
Patrick Cantlay's in the lead at 5 under. Yeah,
I see Tiger has shot a bad round today. Shoots 4 over par at the U.S. Open, and he said he was going to. He said he was healthy enough to make the cut. It looks like he's going to have a really, really good Friday. Wes taught 4 daughters how to drive. Was that stick shift, Wes? It's not stick shift here, so I think I'm okay in that case. Yeah, 4 daughters how to drive. Good for you, man. They're all very safe drivers too. I would certainly hope so. Yeah, that would be the place. So to go over to the War Memorial Stadium parking lot once UAMS has let out and there's no more people in the parking lot anymore, because you really don't want. I learned how to drive in a bus parking lot when there were no buses there. You can't have the buses there because then you're just really going to get into a big problem. So I think we'll just go with the kids, the parking lot when nobody's there. Yeah, this kitten's running all over me. I probably should have waited another segment to let him out. Hey, if you missed anything, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast comes out very soon. Ruskin and Zach are standing by. They'll take you from 2 o'clock until 7, and we're back with you tomorrow to wrap up the week on Halftime. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, I'm Phil. We appreciate you tuning in today. That's Halftime. Now, get up, get out, and get better.